Good morning, folks. 8:08 on 21st day, 4th month, 17th year. And good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Chembomb sucks. Thanks ever so much for this shirt. I absolutely love it. And I love it. Absolutely love this. But anyways, I want to talk about squares. How round things are what circulations make. And how energy in square form makes square lines on our planet, and how those aren't natural. Well, we got scalar fields of antennas, right? They emit an energy, waves going up to the top of the atmosphere. I change the frequency. I can kind of bend how it's aimed. Just trying to tell this in simple terms. Well, those energy, when it hits the top of the atmosphere, before it leaves the planet, it'll heat it up. And if they put enough energy into it, it gets to be thousands of degrees. And it makes what's known as a mirror or a lens. And you could then aim that signal very well. Or they can make a lens that something from space could then use and aim and bend. You see what I mean? So it's lensing, it's heating. And as you make hot air, it flows outward toward cold, because cold is lower pressure. That's just how that works. So you think about hot and cold as high and low pressure. Think of heating and outflows. And so as I take a high pressure and outflow it into a lower pressure area, it'll square off its edge, but it'll feed that storm to blow up. And if I do this from more than one side, I can make a square storm. And I'm going to show you some. You can also energize a square field and then turn the square to rotate the storm. And I see that quite often with these big cyclones. So right now I'm going to zoom on over to NASA Worldview. I'm going to just look at some squares. Okay, we're just going to hunt some squares. And well, the first one I seen, because somebody popped it onto my rebranded weather page, it was in the rabbit hole today, was off the coast of Cali, right down here. Big energized area. Kind of seeing it come into focus now. Where exactly was it? There's so many of them everywhere. When you look, you see these straight edges. You see these square lines, like this one, like that one. Squares in your weather. Squares in the nucleated areas, energy, outflow. Zzz. Another thing you can do is when you heat up the atmosphere, it'll make a bubble in the top. As you unheat, you can pulse this bubble and creates pulse waves with the top of the atmosphere. I'm sorry about that. So let's go have a look at on just general areas. Just look for the squares. Let's just look for the squares today. That's what I want to do. The newest image I have is this one here. Oh, there we go, straight away. Right in the middle of Australia, a square. A square of energy. And we all know there's devices over here. This is Alice Springs area where there's a rather large base. And I'm not going to get too much into that one today. Just trust me, it's there. Supposedly twinned with one in Menwith Hill, England. And research often shows the rabbit hole. Down in the rabbit hole says there's a 5-mile deep antenna going, oh my goodness, going into the ground, twinned with a 5-mile deep antenna in England. They can use it to communicate and listen to signals. Would you look at the gilt here? This is a square, right? Square storms. I know that's a straight line from a satellite feed, so I'm gonna disregard that, but that's undeniable. Well, let's look at this vortex here. Now I'll use the word vortex loosely as we zoom in on it. Do we see perfect roundness in here? No, we see a square form. We see square edges. We don't see nice round flows. Southern hemisphere low pressures going along like that. Squares. This is our weather. This is supposed to be a storm that's spinning. That might clear up that one. What's this square here? A square. This is geoengineering. Now, just gonna zoom around now. I don't know where I'm gonna end up. How do you make this outflow band flow properly? Keep the bands separated. I don't know, a series of squares perhaps? Square, square, overlapping squares. Mighty sharp edge on that, isn't it? This is undeniable. These are straight lines in nature, which are not supposed to occur. At proper 90-degree angles, I'm sorry. It takes talent to do that, or it takes Tesla tech. You know, these devices are derived from Tesla's thoughts. And that's square in the eye. This is squares. Squares across our planet. And I'm just kind of cruising along. You know, look through this field of energy here. What do you see? Do you see squares? This is just random. I'm just randomly going around. This is the image from the 21st. This is what's in today. Latest, greatest. If you can call this the greatest, I don't. The greatest one will be out. None of this on here. You'll just see natural clouds. None of these plumes. Helping encourage propagation of this stuff. You know, look at this crap. There are plumes in the middle of this, helping feed this cloud white and area of energy. And as I zoom in on any of these, you'll see it. You'll see the squares. Any of them. Just zoom in on them. Look these storms square in the eye. Use your eyes. Use your head. Say, this isn't natural, is it? This is not a round, puffy cloud. These are square edges. These are square edges. All of them. This whole plasma field, nucleated square clouds. And they're square. I'm saying that, you know, you use the somatic plates and you put the white sand on it and you hit different frequencies, you'll see certain shapes appear. And these shapes are very predictable. Right? So we're breathing in stuff in our bodies too. And imagine these shapes in us, what they're doing. The vibrations you see with spikes and stuff. What's this doing on the micro level inside our bodies? Yeah. Feeling ill? It makes me sick to my stomach when I think how this stuff can be used. And if we look at the bigger pictures, let's say here's a mass of clouds up here. Yeah, squares. Look. Square again. Look at that. Right above Papua. There's some horrific genocides going on up there. And you know, people need to know about that kind of stuff. Look into it. Seeing some terrible images coming to me, and I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Like pictures of people hacked up with machetes and stuff. This is for real. They're doing some terrible stuff over around here. Around these islands. Yeah, right around here. Papua. This area here, there's some terrible things going on. Let's send our best thoughts to them that ends that type of behavior, because it's just not needed. It just isn't. What the fuck is going on here? That's a shadow. Shadow of that. Mighty square looking. This is all I got for today's images really coming in. Let's go back in today, shall we? Let's look at what's coming on to Europe. I'm going to try to keep this short, but I do want to talk about these squares and the energy it takes to make them is, well, here straight away. I go straight to it. That's just squares. It doesn't take me long to find them. It won't take you long to find them in the sky either. Just look up. Look up and you'll see something's not right. Something isn't how it should be. Because where man is making it. With heated outflows, EMF energy, the 5G locally will be used towards this type of stuff, as well as human modification. Look at that. Oh, this is the gill. This is the gill. Square form. Square form storms. Well, I should have much more to choose from now once this comes in. Whoop. Right. You just look at the areas here off coast of Chile. Square forms. Square forms. Pow. Pulse wave. Square form. Geoengineering, square in the eye. I do this. I imagine what some of the frequencies are doing to our bodies. They're doing this to the sky. And somatic plates show us what frequencies do to metals and stuff. We can possibly go wrong. What could possibly go wrong is we don't speak about it, and we're just permanent customers of the pharmaceutical industry. Oh, wait a minute, that's already happened. So we do need to be speaking about this and getting this shit fixed. That's the square farm. I'll be a little edgy to it, but it's a square farm. Gosh, this is horrendous. Sorry if I'm fast flipping. This trail across Uruguay. Did they ask for that? No, they did not. Or they asked, do you not want it? No, they were not. this crap over Brazil, fueling the water cycle from Africa through the rainforest and then back out and over the Atlantic, down under Africa, and just taking it. Straight edges, square forms, undeniable square forms. No, this is all just random. This was on the 19th. I want the 20th. Well, let's see what was here on the 20th, shall we? Why not? Bzzz, got fried. Unacceptable. It just says it's unacceptable. Look at the square form to this storm here. It's not perfectly round like supercells should be, because they get round because they rotate. You rotate something, it tends to become round, especially if it's fluid. Mighty straight, mighty rectangular, mighty undeniable. Square form storms. Square form storms. All over the planet. And I want everybody to speak about that. I want you to point it out. This is the guilt. Get on this NASA worldview and look. Show it. Look at this sand dot over here. This pulse wave. That's the turbulence from them islands. I usually don't see that turbulence run this far out to say. Some of these waveforms you see as the wind goes past these islands will do this naturally. Know it. But they won't be pluming up like this naturally with these chemtrails going everywhere. Look at this guilt. Square form, huh? This is the chemtrails. Look at the guilt. I think I've made my point. I really have. I think I've made it. Like that just does it. It just does. When I looked at what was coming our way, something wicked this way comes to Portugal, I see the square form headed toward them. Dual vortex madness. Facing the clouds there. What the fuck? This is not natural. Somebody's been plumed into this, and they're copping it today. They absolutely are. Horrendous. What's this over the desert? You know, creating sandstorms. Sandstorms working their way dust into Europe right now. Big time working their way over. Look at this plume here. Out over the Med. Out toward the war zone. Headed back toward Greece and them again. Toxifying their air. Look at the plume down below here. Sandstorm. All down low. All around here on the sea. Mask up. Mask up big time. I could keep showing it. You know, the squares are everywhere. I'm trying to stay on topic. Square forms. Square forms. No straight lines in nature. We were always taught. How can that suddenly change? I'll tell you how. Human nature has entered the equation. When human nature enters the equation, greed takes over. Fucking greed. And greed does this without regard to the life underneath it. This is what greed does. Greed makes squares. Squares frying these animals under here. I think that kind of makes my point. Anyways, big love, y'all. And, you know, we have to show that stuff. And if you know how to explain things, please do it. Keep it real. Big love. Peace. Try to end.